Hey guys, as you watch this video, it's important that you pause it as often as you need to, and also, once you think you can finish that problem, pause it, finish it, and then play it fast forward to the answer to that problem, see how you did. And then also rewind it as much as you need to watch certain problems more than once. Hey guys, I'm going to be working through this review for Quiz C2. It got posted on Google Classroom yesterday, and it's also in the packet you picked up what feels like a month ago, but it was really just a week and a half ago. Alright, number one, they want the measure of angle UTV. Let's see, T was the center. They want that angle. Okay. Well, since this arc is 110 degrees, this angle is 110 degrees. And with this diameter right here, it means that these two would add up to be 180. So let's see, 180 minus 110 is 70. 70 degrees. Remember, this is a central angle. The angle equals the arc. Okay? Alright, over here on number 2, they want the measure of arc WY. They want that arc. Okay? Well, we can find that arc because once again we have a diameter right here. These two would add up to be 180. We can do 180 minus 108. That's going to be 72. Okay, so this arc is 72 degrees. This one is 58 because that's a central angle. The central angle equals the arc. So we'll just add these up. 58 and 72 is 130. So that is 130 degrees, and this one was 70 degrees. Okay? There's a little bit of logic that comes into these pictures, but the main idea is that a central angle equals the arc. Okay? If that angle is 58 degrees, that arc is 58 degrees. And then remember, if you have a diameter, it's 180. But we ended up adding those two together to get our answer. Alright, number 3 is an inscribed angle. To find the measure of that angle, I want to take half of this arc. Now these two make 180, so if that is 60, this is 120. Because together those make 180. Now remember, this is an inscribed angle. It is half of that arc, and half of 120 is 60 degrees. Number 4, they want the measure of this arc. Well, one thing I can say is that these two arcs together make 180. I know this arc is 62 because I've got this inscribed angle. If I've got the angle, I'm going to double it to find the arc. 31 times 2 is 62. And remember I said these make 180, so if this is 62, this is 118 degrees. Together those make 180. Alright, now we see our first exterior angle. To find an exterior angle, you're supposed to do the big arc minus the little arc and divide it by 2. They didn't give us the big arc, but remember, there's 360 degrees in a circle. So 360 minus 135, that sounds like 225. So we're going to do the big arc minus the little arc and divide it by 2. Let's see, that looks like 90 on top, and then when we divide it by 2, that should give us 45 degrees. I better check that with a calculator. 225 minus 135. Yeah, 90 divided by 2 is going to give you 45 degrees. Alright, over here, they want this inscribed angle. Remember, I know it's inscribed because the vertex is on the circle, which means it's going to be half of this arc. Well, they didn't give us this arc, but we can find it because a full circle is 360. So 360 minus 238 is 122 degrees. And then when we take half of 122, this angle is 61 degrees. Okay, there we go. All right, number 7 is an exterior angle. That means the angle is equal to the big arc minus the little arc divided by 2. So 152 minus 82 is 70. And when we take half of 70, we get 35. So that angle is 35 degrees. Number 8 is an interior angle. This is the first one we've seen on the review. That's similar to exterior, but when it's on the inside, you are going to add. So 120 plus 92, and then we'll take half of it. 120 plus 92 is 212. And when you take half of 212, you get 106. So there we go. 2 more done. Number 9, inscribed angle. The vertex is on the circle, which makes it half of the arc. 60 degrees, easy. All right, number 10, exterior angle. Exterior, so we do the big arc minus the little arc divided by 2. You work with a calculator. 130 minus 50 should be 80. 80 divided by 2 is 40 degrees. Woo! Sorry about that. 40 degrees. All right, another exterior angle, but this time we know the angle. We're looking for the little arc. Let's set it up. The angle is equal to the big arc minus the little arc over 2. We're going to multiply by 2. So 84 equals 145 minus x. We'll subtract 145 from both sides. We have negative x on that side. Over here we have negative 16 plus 45. Sounds like 61. And then you can divide by a negative 1. And x equals 61. Or question mark equals 61 degrees. All right, number 12 is a lot easier. It's an inscribed angle. So if the angle is 73, we just double that for the arc, 146. Number 13, the interior angle equals the big arc plus the little arc over 2. So 121 equals 187 plus x over 2. Need to multiply by 2 on both sides. So 242 equals 187 plus x. We'll subtract 187 from both sides. And my brain is thinking 55, and I'm sticking with that. So this arc is 55 degrees. Number 14, exterior angle equals the big arc minus the little arc over 2. So 50 equals x minus 75 over 2. Multiply by 2. So 100 equals x minus 75. And we're going to add 75 to both sides. And x, that big arc, is 175. 175 degrees. Let's see, number 15, they gave us this angle of 75 degrees. It's inscribed. So this arc is 2 times 75, or 150. Now remember, a full circle is 360. So if we have 150 here, that should leave 210 for over there. That's going to make 360 altogether. Number 16, a much harder problem. They're asking for the small arc. Remember, an exterior angle equals the big arc minus the small arc divided by 2. If we call the small arc x, this is the part that's a little tricky. The big arc is actually 360 minus x. If you add those together, you get 360. Remember, 360 is a full circle. So we're going to do that 70 equals the big arc, 360 minus x, minus the small arc, so minus x all over 2. If we just clean that up a little bit, then 70 equals 360 minus 2x over 2. Minus x, you're minusing 2 x's. Now we can solve this. We can multiply by 2. 2 times 70 is 140, and it cancels out on this side. 360 minus 2x. We want to subtract 360. Alright, on the right hand side we have negative 2x, and on the left hand side, I think that's 220, negative 220. And then we'll divide by negative 2. So 110 is x. The small arc is 110 degrees. If they had asked, that would make the big arc 250. Because remember, they have to make 360 altogether. Okay, we're getting into longer problems now. Number 17 is similar to number 16. They're looking for the small arc again. I'm actually just going to call this W. Now, if I call the small arc W, that makes this big arc 360 minus W. So I'm going to set this up the same way we did number 16, where 55 equals the big arc, 360 minus W, minus the small arc, which is W, all over 2. Then we can clean that up to say minus 2W. So we'll multiply by 2. That's 110 equals 360 minus 2W. We'll subtract 360. I think that's going to be 250. Negative 250 equals negative 2W. Divide by negative 2. That should be 125. Now we're not done. That may be the measure of the arc, that is the small arc, but they want us to solve for x. Okay? So this small arc is 125, and they're saying this small arc is 40x plus 5. So we'll just set 40x plus 5 equal to 125. Subtract 5. 40x equals 120. Divide by 40. And x equals 3. Okay. There are other ways of setting this problem up, but I thought this might be the most straightforward to explain.